everyone. I am so excited to share with you this amazing paper collection from Stamperia. This is a new concept that they have, which I love. It is, instead of having double-sided sheets, it has 22 pages of single-sided. So you don't have to choose which of the beautiful prints that you want to use or which ones you want to sacrifice to use the other side. So we're going to be using this today. Now, my collection, yes, I will show you. To get ready for this video, I've completely butchered my collection that I have over here. But I'm going to show you where the pieces are in this book. And then some of them I pre-cut for you for the video, and some I have not. In your kit, you're going to find that you have envelopes that have all the pieces for both calendars. I'll remind you, both calendars are in there. Now, I've already done the forest collection on video, so what's left in my envelopes now is just for the Golden Harmony collection. And some of them probably don't even have anything left in them because there's not much. Once I pulled out the forest collection pieces, I may not have had anything left. So we'll go through these in a few minutes. And I've got them identified so that you know which one we're working on. And we'll do these together. Now, the cutting guide, I ran out of toner. So this is in black and white. I'm waiting on my order of toner to come in. So as soon as it does, I'll have this printed in color. Just a couple of key notes that you do need to be aware of. In your copy of the color edition, I have put the photograph of the page next to the description of the items that are cut for that 2-page layout. These are the calendars. You can see here that you have a top and a bottom, and we're going to decorate the top. For instance, here's January. We're going to be decorating this portion. Then we'll maybe add some things here. Now, not every lower section is decorated. This one, I tried to do more of that. In the forest, we didn't decorate very much on the bottom. Again, I want to caution you, do not throw any of the scraps away, because not only are we using these for the calendar here, we're using it for the desktop calendar, we're using it for the easel card, and for your note card, for your card kit. So don't throw any scraps away, and don't substitute the ephemera at this point. If you choose not to put something in, like there's a clock in the back or a flower pot here that you don't want to add right now and you want to put something different, wait till you get through with all the videos, and then you'll be able to see what you have left over. I hate for you to substitute later and regret it. So we're going to get started with January. You're going to need a distressing pad. Any brown will do. This is a Tim Holtz vintage photo, or gathered twig is what I use. And then I use a little finger applicator to use with that. You're going to probably need an 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch hole punch. It's either for this calendar or for the next one. I can't remember. But you will need a corner rounder. I have the little corner rounder that came in one of the September kits, I believe. Or you can use one of the traditional corner rounders that you own. On the cutting guide, your copy will have, for instance, anything that says printed paper background, that will be in a brown color. Then anything I have pre-cut for you, that will be in black. These items here are in black. When it goes down to printed paper, bird pick, okay, there's the measurements of what you're going to cut out, but it'll be in brown. So I've done everything for you as far as anything that's not printed paper, you've got it cut out already. This was such a massive kit. There are no extra sheets. However, don't let that scare you. If there's no extra sheets of cardstock, use something you have. There's so much diversity in this, and I've used so many different types of papers and browns and craft colors and everything else. I decided if it's not in there, you probably will have something similar. Or if I made a miscut, and I apologize if I did, I try my best to make sure every one of these are accurate. Now, now that I've gone over the little greet and meet, okay, this is how I'm thinking we're going to do each of the calendars with a picture beside the cutting instructions, okay, so that you can follow along with me. Now, your copy will be in color once again, but I need this one just to verify my sizes are correct as I go through the video. Okie doke. So, with that said, let's get started with January. So, the January page, you've got a real pretty background. That's one of the prettiest backgrounds. It's very, very pretty. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see it closer. And I do want to mention one last time, I mentioned it in the forest video. This is not my normal setup here. We had my room remodeled, my craft room remodeled, so that my studio is a little bit roomier, and put up new shelving. So that meant everything in the room had to be moved out and then put back in. And so I'm on a little tiny table right now. Yeah, that's not good when you're used to an 8-foot table. So this little tiny table is what I'm working with. So if you see me go off camera, it's because my video is not in the video camera is not in the same exact spot. Okay, all of the allowances have now been made. So what we're going to do is we're going to look in our packet of paper here, and we're going to find this page. Okay, now that you found this page, we're going to cut it. I will tell you that your measurements, unless I've made a mistake, when it says 7 7/8 by 7 1/2, it's 7 7/8 across this way, and then it's 7 1/2 this way. So it's length times height, okay? Just so that you'll know, I'm pretty consistent with that because you don't want the writing to go up and down the page, okay? Try to keep that in mind when you're cutting things. So tear this page out, and I'm going to set that to the side. And then we're going to take that page, I'm going to put this over, and I've actually cut mine already. So I cut it to 7 7/8 this way, and then I cut it to 7 1/2 this way. Very important that you keep all trimmed edges because we're going to be using them. In fact, when you look at the calendar, look where I put that one. It goes across the bottom here to complement the background here. So don't throw it away. Okie doke. Now put that to the side because we're through for the moment with a cutter. So we're going to leave this one right here so you can see what I'm doing. A model to go by, plus my cutting guide, and here's the paper we're going to be working with. The Golden Harmony, I did choose to go with a white spine instead of the black. You can reverse that. That's not a problem. I was trying to make it uniform a little bit so that you could figure out which one was which when you're working on them. When I run out of the white, we'll have to switch over to all black. But for the time being, I know I've got enough for the initial kits. So we're going to work from the top. This is important that you lay it down where you know this is the right direction. You don't want to accidentally turn it this way. You want it this way here. And what we're going to do is glue this down to the top. We've already cut it, so we're going to get our writing in the right direction. If you want to distress these edges, please do so. Because of time frame, I don't want to distress anything I don't have to. And I'll just simply add some glue real quick here. This is Art Glitter Glue that I'm using. I'm just trying to get it to work a little bit more efficiently. All right, let's see here. We're going to leave a little bit of a white border. The writing is in the right direction. I'm going to drop it down just a hair so I can center it just a little bit better. Okay, so I'm having trouble with my eyesight today. There we go. And then burnish that down. Hopefully that's straight. Looks pretty good. If for any reason you get something off, just add a little border, a little white border or a little bit of a brown border. Somebody is saying hello. She's licking my ear. She jumps up on the back of my seat. I have a big Great Pyrenees, and she just loves attention. So we got that on. Now we're going to take our little components here, pull them out. And again, if you haven't watched the forest video yet and you watch this one first, I had to mix both large calendar pieces into these bags together. So you have to pull out the pieces that are specific just to this calendar. That was to save a little bit of money. These bags run a lot of money, and I had to get it to where you could find the pieces easily, but I also didn't want to spend an extra $5, $6 a pop box just to have more acetate bags. So we're going to take this craft piece here. In your kit or your collection, you're going to find there are some gorgeous photographs in the back, or printed images, I should say, of framed messages. And I cut out this little bird. Now, I pre-cut that, so on the camera, we wouldn't have to spend our time cutting it. And this was cut out at 2 3/4 by 3 7/8. I can attest to that. All right. Now, we're going to glue it down to our craft piece here. So I'll do that. And we're going to put it, well, I'm having trouble getting in frame. All right, so we're going to put it on here like this. Make sure it's straight. Looks pretty good. Burnish it down. Now take your seam binding, wrap it around, and tie a bow. Now, if you're like me, I can't do that easily. So what I do to make it work a little bit better, I take mounting foam, I put it on the back of my image here, my little mats. Cut another piece or two here. One in the middle, one up here. And then I'm just going to take off this bottom one, because what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take my seam binding, straighten it out. Let's see if I can get this out of the picture just enough to give you some more view. There we go. And I'm going to lay it down on my seam binding. See, that holds the seam binding in place. It also, if I press down lightly, will hold it to the table. So when I get ready to tie this little bow, I'm going to tie it on the side here. It doesn't move. It's like having an extra hand to help hold it. Now, if you want bigger tails, no problem. Let me show you the other way you can do this. You can take your bow maker, tie a pretty little bow. I'm going to make it lopsided with one side longer. No, I'm not going to do it in the center. And then you can pull the ribbon like so. And you can attach it this way across your picture. I'm going to put it in the center. I think it'd be pretty. Let's see if I can position it right there. Put my thumb on it. Wrap that to the back. Okay, put my thumb on it. Wrap that one to the back. I've made prettier bows in the past. There we are. Then I'm going to turn it over, trim off my excess pieces. And then you have a little bow here. Fluff it up a little. Pull off the rest of your mounting foam tape backing. Adhere that to your picture here. There you are. Then we're going to go to the other side. And on this side, we're going to take our little decorative, oh, what do you call them? Borders. Borders, that's what I'm trying to say. And I'm going to run some glue down this edge on this one. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and do this one too. Remember that trim piece that we trimmed off, the 1/2 inch? We're going to need to add glue to it as well. I really wish y'all could see the dog. She's trying her best to get attention. Climbing up on the back of my chair and visiting. Yep. Ooh, look, it goes over just a little. Oh, that's awesome. I like it when it does that. It's a nice fit. Then I can trim it with my scissors and it will look handsome. Then this piece I'm going to put up here. And I think, let's see here. I'm going to put it just a little bit lower like that. Nice. Making sure they're straight. Perfect. Burnish it if you wish. Then take your scissors from the back side. Trim those little ends. I'm going to try to trim it without being too awkward on the picture. Okay. And then we're going to take that one little 1/2 inch piece that we got. We're going to glue that down on top of this one. Now this one's going to be short, okay? So to make that right, scoot it over because we're going to put this over here on the edge and it won't be noticeable. So glue that over just a bit. I get so tongue-tied. I hope y'all don't mind. Let's see. Okie doke. Now, trim this up any way you want. You can cut it close. You can take your scissors and notch out that area. You can distress this. Whatever you choose to do. I'm just going to glue mine down flat. And I found this in the paper collection and pre-cut it out ahead of time. So you will find it. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt. Look in the paper collection until you find it. And then, yes, there was a little birdie. And that little birdie went right here. And it was a fussy cut little birdie. And I've lost that little birdie. No, it's not in my little tray, which it should be. So we will find our little bird later and fussy cut it and stick it right there so that it will look just like this. Okay? So one last look at January. And now we're going to move on to February. Moving on to February. February, here we come. This is a gorgeous page. It's going to take us a few minutes, okay? So that I can share with you all the different pieces of it. Doesn't look like much on your paper here, though. Nope, it doesn't. The only pieces I pre-cut for you were the borders in brown and a mat for your picture. So you've got those pieces. I'll pull those out. Now, the first thing we're going to do is look in our book and find that background piece. Let's see, it's got the chair. Oh, right there it is, the very first one. This is another one of those background pieces where I want you to be very careful when you cut it. This piece right here, we're going to use in another location. So, we're going to take this piece. I'm going to fold that back so I can work on the top. I'm going to fold it back. I'm going to take my cutter. Oh, I found the missing bird from a while ago. Yay. All right. And I'm going to cut this because the measurement is supposed to be 8 inches by 7.5. So it's 8 inches across by 7.5. So I'm going to measure to 7.5. And I'm showing this on camera because I want you to save this piece. You're going to need it on another page. So don't throw it away. All right. Easy peasy here. I'm going to put it down on my page here. So I'll glue it down. Again, a reminder, if you want to distress it, you can do that. She's determined to get attention, guys. Just determined to get attention. Alrighty, we've got that down. Now we're going to cut out the little piece here called Inspire. All right. So now that we've got the background attached and we look through our book and we find this piece here that says Inspire, we're going to look in the very back where the fussy cut images are. I've cut mine all over, so I don't think it's going to benefit you to see it, but let me see. In fact, that page is gone in this one. Here we go. That is a fabulous fussy cut collection of things, and you'll see the greenery came from here. The books came from here. So you'll find that there's quite a variety there that you can use in the book. Now, I'm not going to take the time to fussy cut these out, but I will share with you what I did. I just simply fussy cut it out, and then I used some mounting foam tape and popped it up on top of the other flowers that are here to give it a little bit more dimension. And then I took the Inspire piece, trimmed it out, leaving a little bit of the beige border, and I just did this on the corners. Well, actually on this one I didn't, but we're going to this time. Okay, and mount it to our brown mat here. Isn't that pretty? All right, now let's glue this in place. And I want to put that down. Let me drop it down just a bit. There we go. We're going to glue that onto our background. And I'm just going to add it right about here. And burnish it down. And like I said, just fussy cut this out, pop it on there. I'd do it on camera, but it takes too long. So now I'm going to take this bigger piece here and this piece here, and we're going to border that. So let me add the glue to that. Kind of frames it. I'm going let it overlap just a hair. I'm going to take it all the way to the edge of the paper there. I'll trim that edge off in a minute. I'd rather cut it too long than too short, folks. Make sure I don't have glue on that. Oh, wait a minute. I want to go all the way to the top. There we go. Now let me trim this off. Okay, and I'll trim this one off. Well, I must not have gotten enough glue on it. Guess I better fix that. Now it'll stay. Good boy. Okay, so that top piece is done. Then for the bottom, I'm going to take this piece here that's in your kit, and I'm going to cut it in two. Now, I did that because you may want to put it right there, or you may want to accent on either side of the wording. I'm going to put mine right here. I'm going to change it up just a smidgen to give you an option, different than the one that's on the sample. The one on the sample, I'll put it side by side so you can see. I'm going to put this one right here. See if I can get it in the middle. Okay. And then when I fussy cut out my little pots and my books, I'm just going to put my books up here without the border, like that. And then I'm going to put my plant right down here, like that. I think it gives it a little bit more depth to the page so that it will bring your eyes down by adding this. All right, now that's February. Like I said, go back, fussy cut, distress the edges, and it'll cover up the white core of the paper. So now we're moving on to March. March is an easy one, but it's pretty. All we're going to do there is open up our March packet. All right, so now with the March packet in our hand, we're going to look into our collection pack until we find this damask page, and we'll pull it out. And then we're going to find the wood panel page. Yes, there is one. We're going to need both of those pages here in a minute, so let me go ahead and put an X on this so I know I took paper out of it. I wouldn't want you to get it by accident. Now we're going to take this and we're going to work on the top of it. We're going to take our paper cutter. And move a little bit of this out of the way. We're going to take our paper cutter, and looking at our cutting guide, we want to cut the damask background, this piece here, to 8 inches across by 5 inches. So I want to go ahead and cut that to 5 inches. Alrighty. You can do it either direction. I like this direction. I think the scrollies should go up, but you can do it either way. Then the wood panel, we need it to be cut 8 by 2.5. And since it's going to look like a wallpaper and chair rail background, let's cut it this way and do 2.5 inches there. Save our extras because we know we're going to need those in a little bit. All right. And then there is a piece that we saved that had that pretty lacy edge to it that we're going to use for the chair rail. And I'm going to turn this over and glue it down. I might as well move this back out of the way for the moment. going to glue this down very quickly. All right. Put it all the way to the edge of the white paper. There we are. Make sure it's straight before you press it down. Okay, and then I'm going to glue down my paneling. And I'm just going to drop it down a hair here because I'm going to cover it with that pretty lacy border. I want it to match up. Now that little lacy border that we did earlier, you can do it this way or you can do it this way. I think this time I'm going to do it up. I think I need to put more glue in my gun. Okay. So let's do the little points going up this time. I'm going to overlap those two, line it up. Make sure it's straight. Excellent. Take the matte piece that came in with my kit. This piece here. You found this somewhere within your paper kit. You're going to find it together and you're going to mount it onto the brown, just like so. Now I'm going to trim mine a little bit so it fits a little bit better. Not this one. This one was just, I had left just a hair too much border, I believe. So let me see if I like the way that fits now. See, now it fits perfect. So I'll stick that to the side. And I'll glue this down. Having fun yet, guys? If you like the little cameo appearance of my dog, the Barker, so AKA the Barker. Yeah. I figured you deserved to see what was in the background making all the noise. All right, and then we're going to glue this down on top of this so that it'll be kind of like a picture hanging on the wall. Now what I'm going to do, on the original, I mounted it where it came down over this, but on this one, I'm going to raise it up a little bit. Center it. Again, you can use your centering ruler if you're not good at eyeballing it. And there we have March. We're not doing anything to the bottom of March right now. If you want to go back later and do something with your extras, you go right ahead. Now we're going to move on to April. And for April, oh, we've got a pretty one here. We're going to take our packet. And we already have a pretty gray mat that we're going to use. And we have a gray edge or border. And we're going to put this pretty background. So let's find that in our leftovers here. All right, in the leftovers, we have this page right here. And we're going to need to cut that down to size. We're going to need to cut that down to 7.5 by 7 1/4. The gray mat is 7 3/4 by 7 3/8. So we need to cut this down to 7.5 across by 7 3/4 high. All right, I'm going to move these things out of the way, get my trimmer again. And we said this is going to be 7 3/4 wide. So let's trim off a little bit on both sides till we get it the right width. Until we get something we're happy with there. 7 3/4 since there we go. All right, now it's 7 3/4 wide, and we want to go to 7, no, we want it 7.5 inches wide. Duh. Okay, so let's take another 1/8 of an inch off on either side. Oops. Sherry did not cut that straight. It happens, it happens. And then cut off 7.5 there. Okay. Now it's 7.5 inches wide, and we're going to cut it to be 7 1/4 high. 7 1/4 high. I think I'm going to do it just as simple as I can by taking it all off the top. Like that. Excellent. I'll save those little pieces. I'm going to glue this down to my gray mat. Let's first do a dry fit. I need to trim off just a little bit more. I think I'll take it off the bottom No, I still like taking it off the top of this one. I'm going to take another 1/8 of an inch or so off so that I have a little bit more of a pretty mat showing. Oh, that's perfect, guys. Perfect. Move this back out of the way. See there? Now I'm going to take this, turn it over, pump my gun until I finally get some glue out. Okie doke. Now, put this down. I find it easier when you're matting these big pieces to do it before you put it in the calendar. It just makes it easier to even it up. All right, there's this. And then on the bottom of April, we're going to put a gray strip. We're going to put it, the one that was in your kit. And again, we're going to trim it down. So I think I'll go ahead and glue it and add it before I trim it down. When I went back to editing some of the video before I filmed this part, I realized I wasn't even in screen. You guys need to be patient with me as I try to learn this new setup. Okay, there we go. I want it right there. I'll trim that off to match. Okay. And then there's a section that says follow your dreams. Let's see. It's in the book as well. So you're just going to follow, you're going to find it and glue that right on top of the gray mat in the center. Nice. That'll finish the bottom page. Then to complete the top page, what we're going to do is attach this. Now you'll find that some of the calendars are not the exact size of this original because the original wasn't the final product. These I made in advance before I started making the class or the kits. And I had to mass produce a different measurement. Okay, so now this one doesn't work. I've now gone through all my bottles. I need to clean out the nozzles, guys. There we go. Now it should come out. Did anybody order anything off of Cyber Friday or Cyber Monday? I ordered a few things, and they're going to be here today, so I'm eager to see what comes in. These are personal things. They're not for any of my business. You know how it is when you get some things you want to play with. And when I have free time, I'll play with them. There were some good sales I had to take advantage of. Now, in the back of your book, in that fussy cut page, you're going to find that there are pumpkins and leaves and all kinds of little ephemera that you can add to this. I cut them out and popped up a few of them with mounting foam tape. I'm not going to take the time during the video, but I do like to lay down this one and pop those up so that when you do this part here, it gives it a little bit more depth. So this one, and this one are all popped up. Everything else is flat, okay? So go back, pause the video, go ahead and fussy cut now if you want to, or want to wait till you get to the very end to add your embellishments, you can. So that's April. May, my birthday month. Okay. May is very handsome again. We got a lot of gold and taupe colors here, which I like a lot. We're going to go into our book and find the pieces we need for this one. Did you like having the QR codes on the cutting guide piece instead of on a separate page? To me, that made more sense. So if you don't want to hang on to that other stuff and you just want one cutting guide, you'll have the access to the video. This is the piece here that we're going to be using. And let me pull out May. Another mat, so we can work off of that before we attach it in the book, or in the calendar. This is going to be cut down. The craft piece here is 8 by 7 5/8. So we need to cut this one to 7 3/4 across by 7 1/4 up. So I'm going to flip my calendar to where I just have this one in view and just the top of it. And I'm going to cut now my background piece. And I'm going to make it 7 3/4 across. So let's see, how did I want to do this? I'll do it this way. Take off a 1/4 inch there. And then I'm going to do 7 1/4 this way. Now let me see how much of the flower comes off. More than I want, so I'm going to just shave off a little bit and then turn it around the other direction to do the 7 1/4, okay? That way I don't lose quite so much of my flowers in my picture. Let's try this and see if it does a dry fit okay, and if it doesn't, I'll trim it down. I think I got it a little bit too short. I did, but that's okay. No problem. We can hang with that. So let's do this again. Tune in next week for a video on how to unclog all of your glue guns and glue dispensers. Just kidding, but wouldn't that be a great commercial? Yeah, I bet you'd everyone come too. Uh-huh. Now we're going to stick this down. Make sure it's a little bit even. I'm still not getting it centered. Hang on. I can't live with that. All right. There we go. Perfect. Burnish. Glue to your calendar. There's the guest star barking now, making her appearance. We have found that there is one CD disc in the world that will keep her quiet, and we're all sick of it. It's a Govee musical interlude type, acoustical Mexican type music. And as soon as I put it on, she goes and gets in her crate, which she never does, and lays down and goes to sleep. So, hey, if you got a dog that barks, try Govee. That's all I can say. I used to play it in one of the stores I had, and it was very soothing. That's why I chose it for the store. All right, I'm going to take these two craft borders now. I'm going to attach those to the calendar bottom. Here we go. I'm going to put this one lower and all the way to the edge. Good. Trim it. Excellent. And now we're going to cut this top one. We're going to cut it to where it leaves our wording. Now, I kind of left it up to you to measure and to trim it, because if you didn't want to use it here, you didn't have to. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it a little bit. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and whack away. Whack. Whack. And whack. Now I'm going to glue that down. Yes, I know this is not. That's going to probably make you very uncomfortable. That I didn't measure everything and didn't measure it out. But, you know, hey, life is full of good things. All right, let's see here. Which one of these did I mean to put there? I guess it was this one. And I got that edge just a little crooked, so I'll snip it. Now, yeah, that looks good. And then I'll put that right there. Beautiful. And then find in your book the little flower piece like this. It's in the back section where the fussy cutting is. And find this one, fussy cut it out, and stick it right there. Isn't that pretty? Again, this is the March page. I'm sorry, the May page. And we're going to go now to June. So for June, oh, this is good. We're going to be pulling some pieces out of our collection pack. And they're going to be different pieces. So watch. We're going to take this page here. Okay. We're going to take your back cover. Okay, I know, it kills you. The back cover. That's this border and this border. Isn't that cool? So we're going to actually trim this border and attach those on top of this piece. Now, you have writing, so you got to be able to read coffee house, okay? All right, I made an adjustment on the cutting guide. Instead of 7 inches by 7.5, I made it 7 inches by 8 because these are a little bit longer calendars. So let's go ahead and just leave that. And then we'll lay this down. We're going to actually border it all the way to the top so I can pull it up, leaving about a 1/2 inch on either side. Making sure the paper shows the writing correctly. And then we're going to take the back page. And I'm going to flip this out of the way so I can try cutting a little bit straighter this time. I'm going to take my trimmer, take off my back page, take this piece here and cut it. It really doesn't require you to measure it because you're just cutting off right at that brown wood grain. And we're going to take that and attach it on top of this background here. Now, if you'd rather do it this way, you can. Just depends on what you want to do. I think, yeah, I'm going to do it the same as the sample. I'm going to do it just like this. Much prettier, I think. I love the beige and blue colors with a hint of brown. Goes with a little bit of everything. Any decor. Butt it up to the side of the page. It'll cover the edge of the page we already cut. Burnish that down. Do the other side. Okay. Excellent. Now go to the front cover of your book. That's right, the front cover. Let me see if I can find a cover. Here you go. I want you to distress this part. We're going to steal that from the cover. And what that means is I want you to take the paper and tear it out like this. Now I am going to distress this so I can cover up anything that's showing. But I'm just going to kind of edge it like that. And I know you don't want this on the bottom, so why don't you trim that off so it'll lay flat against the border on the bottom of your calendar. And I'm going to trim the side and get that little green piece off as well. Maybe should have done that before I started tearing, but there we go. Now I'm going to distress this, get out a sheet of white paper, find a distress ink pad, and yes, I dropped my good one to the floor, so I'm going to have to make do with another one. This one has a hint of green in it. And a little bit of brown on the edges here. Okay, and we'll attach that in our book here. Again, make sure you're looking at the right side, the right angle. Stick that down. It's kind of pretty, isn't it? Now we're going to take our brown mat. Find my June envelope. Okay, I've got my June envelope. It's got my brown mat in it. And we're going to clip out our Home piece that's in your collection pack and mat that down. And I did not distress it. You can if you wish. And then stick this down onto your paper. Now, I did the original over like that. I'm going to do this one closer in. You can choose where you want to locate it, whatever appeals to you. And I'm going to put it right there. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay. And we're going to now do a little border. I'm trying to decide which little border I want to use this time. Some of the scraps that we had come in handy right about here. I'm thinking I might want to use this one. This was the top of that edge that we did for this background here. I kind of like that. It's about the same colors. I'm just trying to decide what I like the best. Oh, here's some more of this piece that we could use. But I may have used that elsewhere. Maybe not. Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's leave that border for the moment because I'm just looking to make sure. You could use any scrap that you have to go there. And then what I did was I fussy cut out these little ovals for Dream and Our Home and put them on top of that border. That border is supposed to be 1/2 inch high by 2 5/8 long. So 2 5/8 by 1/2 inch. And then you just fussy cut out these two pieces and put them down on top of that. If you have the excess paper, you may prefer to just do something like this to bring the color down here and put one in the center. That's another option. So I'm going to leave that page for you to decide how you want to do it. But you've seen my guidelines and what I did, so now you can get an idea. All right, and so for July, this one's going to require some work, guys. Yeah, it looks like it all came on here, but it's not. If you look, you'll see these envelopes I folded, and they're 3-dimensional. Okay, so what we're going to do is look into our collection here. And we're going to find the letter page. Right there. Tear it out. And we're going to go ahead and put part of that. No, we're going to cut off some of it first. We're going to actually make it 7.5 inches shorter. So this top part would be great to leave on because you can see complete wording there. So let's go ahead and trim off 1/2 inch at the bottom. So I'm going to take it and just trim off 1/2 inch at the bottom. There we go. Close enough. Close enough, guys. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it to the top of my calendar. It's hard to see this stuff when it's white on white, isn't it? All right, now, this is going at the top of my calendar. If you want to leave white area, you can. I think I will this time, just for the fun of it. I like offering options. Yeah, there we go. And that noise you hear is my foot knocking over something under my desk. Then, go to your collection, and you're going to find these pieces. You're going to find this square piece that's an envelope ready to be cut and organized. This one as well. A couple of little postage stamps. And I'll tell you what, I am going to look just a hair further here because I think I missed one. I did. It's back here in our fussy cutting, wherever the sheet went. I think I've cut it so far apart that it's now lost in the wasteland. Okay, I found it. I'm looking for the fussy cut page. Down here at the bottom is a letter. That's the one I used right here, and I popped it up. So you'll need to fussy cut this one out. And I did distress it only because my cutting, I do it very quickly and it's not always perfect. But if I distress it, it covers up all my little mistakes and you can't tell that I didn't I didn't cut it on the line. All right, about done. So I'm just cutting this out. Good. Distress it down. No. Yeah, ages it a little too, doesn't it? Okay. So we've already got that ready to go now. Do not lose it, Sherry. Okay. We'll lay it to the side. Then we're going to take these envelopes. And I would normally tell you to go ahead and score those. But for the sake of being fast here, I am just going to fold them and burnish because I want this to go rather quickly. So I'm folding on the sides that show the writing. I want coffee house at the top point. Do you see that? Okay. So fold up the two sides. That way you know your writing is correct. Then fold up the bottom. like that. Burnish it down. If you didn't cut real close, like I didn't cut that edge real close, I'm going to trim it now because you won't be able to see it when I get it ready. Okay, so this is actually going to be this one. All right, I'm going to fold this down. And now, see, you have your little edges, and your envelope will attach like that, so this could come up. But we're not going to be worrying about that because we're going to glue it all down anyway. And see where I left that extra white edge? The distressing covers that up in a heartbeat. So I'm going to go ahead and distress around the edges of my two flaps. The others you can't see, so there's not really much point. And then I'm going to attach it where the writing is correct. I can see property of procuring at the top. And I'm going to glue all of this down together. So I'm going to glue that flap down. I'm going to glue this down and glue that down. So I've got glue here, here, and here. And I'm just going to raise that over. Burnish a little bit. Then I'm going to add a little bit more glue here and here. And burnish that down. And my envelope is finished because we're going to stick a postage stamp on it. We're going to cut this. Now, if you have some decal scissors or some postage stamp edge scissors, you can use that. Sherry doesn't care. I am just simply distressing it so you can't tell I did not edge it. And then I'm going to glue that down. Stick it on my envelope and voila, I have a pretty little distressed looking envelope. It's going to go on my page right there. Then the other one, we're going to do the same thing, guys. All right, I can read coffee house, so that's my marking point. I'll fold it same way. Yes, I know I'm doing this the wrong way. I should score it. It's okay. Don't panic. Crafting is about uniqueness. Creating new and amazing projects. Testing the waters. Okay, I'm full of it, yeah. Okay. And this one, I'm not going to bend down. So what I need to do there is I need to make sure I clip that to where it doesn't show that white. There we go. And I'm going to distress it. And we're going to glue down the back, so let's go ahead and do that. Same way, a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue here, down the edges. Okay, and we're going to take mounting foam tape to pop these up. But before we do that, let's take our little coffee cup. It's a tiny little fussy cut image that they gave you. And this one, I'm not going to distress it. I like it just like it is. And I'm going to pop that right on top, right up in that corner. See? So now I have this, and I have my little fussy cut letter. I'm going to turn them all over, and I'm going to add some mounting foam tape to it. In fact, this one, I'm just going to go ahead and do it that way. And this one, pretty much same thing. Just add a little there, add a little here. I could have also glued these down flat. You may prefer to do that. I'm going to bring this into frame. I'm going to take this one and stick it right there. I'm going to take this one, kind of add it right there. And then here's my letter coming out of my envelope. And I have my correspondence and envelopes all done. Now let's take a peek at the other side. All right, on this one we have a craft mat. Let's see here if I can find the July pack now. Dum, dum, dum. All right, July. It was stuck. Okay, so we have July, and this printed border is 8, and it's between 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch here, depending on how I sliced and diced the cardstock. It's hard to get it exact when you're mass producing that many. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to attach it to the top of my calendar page here. And I'm going to just kind of border up above the title, July. Bringing it over just a hair. Oh, bring it over just a hair so that I can have a little bit of white on both sides. There we go. Then there's another postage stamp. That's the little flower. You'll find it on the page with the banners, I believe, next to like the butterfly stamp. You'll find it to add. You know how to do that now. And at the bottom here, remember the edging we cut off of our main piece up here at the top? Okay, we're going to take that and attach it down here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in place. Okay, and with that, we have July done. August. August is pretty fun. It's the reverse of what we did earlier, where we did the chair rail and the damask. Look, it's the same papers, and you're using the opposite side that you cut off. So we're going to be taking the leftovers of the brown and the damask. Here was the little flower for the previous page. I'm going to go back and stick that on there right now before I forget. So I'll stick it right up there. Perfect. Okay, so August, we've got wood paneling and our damask. Now, this is a little long. We're going to cut this down because you need that again later. So I'm going to cut this brown piece here for the August. It's going to be cut 8 inches by 4 1/4 inches. Let me get this covered back up. I get nuts about things that are left uncapped. So I'm going to cut that to 4 1/4 inches. See, that gives me a nice piece for later to use. Now we're going to leave that damask background. This is going to go like this. This is going to go like this. And in between the two, we're going to cover it with the background piece, the little border that you have in the August pack. So it's going to go across through there. So now we're going to take this one and mount it on there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I decided to go ahead and cut that to where you have a white edge to it. All of these pretty much have a white edge because you've got extra room on the calendar that you didn't have on my sample. So I'll put that up here like so. Nope, needs to go over some. Hang on. We'll get it. Does that look straight? Pretty darn close, isn't it? Okay, now we're going to put this piece down here. Now I'm going to make sure that my border is going to cover those two edges. It does. So I'm going to glue this, leaving about a 1/2 inch gap, just a shy of a 1/2 inch, so that my border piece of brown will cover it. And I'm going to go right here. Need to pull it over just a hair. It's a little crooked. Don't want the wood paneling crooked, do you? I'd fire that contractor. Okay. Push that one down. Oops, I need to glue. Okay. Glue the brown on. There we go. Oops, I need to pull it over just a hair. And then, as you can see here, I've got to have 2 pictures. Those 2 pictures are this one and this one. And all we're going to do there, folks, is pop them up on the page. So take some mounting foam tape or some pop-up dots, whatever you happen to have close. Bum, ba, da, bum. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're 2/3 of the way through, guys. Pop those on. And if you want to add gemstones, ribbons, little metal charms, accoutrements, you can, but I'm just going to simply keep this as simple looking as I can. Just, there we are. And the bottom is not done. Again, you can fussy cut some images to go on there later. Now this page, this is our September page. September introduces you to a new paper that is not in your kit. I ordered in some specialty papers to go along with it, and you're going to see these in the future. I just thought they were so pretty. I had to do something. Now, what I want you to do is find this page here that has the boots on the bottom. Okay. Tear that out. Now, the boots on the bottom are going to have this on the top, okay? But this part here, we're going to use in future projects, so I don't want you to use that on the page and then add this on top. I want you to cut this a little bit more than what I have said to do in the directions. So on September, the mask here, this mat is 8 by 3. And the printed paper, I say to cut 8 by 5. Let's see where 5 inches falls. Okay. Actually, 8 by 5 is the right measurement, so we're good. I thought I may have made a mistake there, but I didn't. So we're going to cut this 5 inches, leaving the boot showing. Put this to the side for later use. Okay. And I want you to do this. I want you to how do I put this? I want you to overlap these two pieces with glue, just a hair, okay? I want you to glue the two of these to your page, but I'm not going to have you glue them till we add the ribbon. So I want you to take a bead of glue and run it across from one side to the other. Take this and just make a very narrow piece that will allow you to extend this as much as possible. Okay? See what I'm doing? I'm making it all one piece, but I've only got like 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch showing. Let's let that dry for just a moment while I pick up my scissors. Good. Now I want you to take some score tape. Hopefully you've got some score tape. Hopefully I have some score tape. Okay, I want you to take the score tape and I want you to put it across the back of that joint. On the back side now, guys, not the front. Okay? Test your ribbon and make sure that it will reach all the way across the back and that you'll have enough to tie a knot. The reason why I'm saying that is because I want you to attach the middle of the ribbon to the middle of the back. We're still on the back. Find the middle of the ribbon. Take your pencil and mark it. Okay, that helps me more than anything else, because this is not going to be showing. So I can put my ribbon down straight, have this in the middle of it. Good. Anchor it on down all the way across. Now, if you don't have any of the double stick tape, you can use glue. It's just a lot easier to use the score tape. Now, when I turn this over, I can simply take this and tie a knot. I would highly recommend you bend it up a little bit, because when you let go of the edges of your ribbon, it will relax and you will have a floppy knot. So there we go. I needed to tie it a little tighter, so I'm going to go back and tie my knot a little bit tighter. Bend this up just a little more. And there, now I've got a nice one, except I've not got it in the very center. I can live with that. So there is my knot in the center of that. Very much like this one. If you want to trim the edges, you can. It'll press out flat over time. This is a seam binding and it wrinkles pretty good. Then take your welcome sign that you fussy cut out. This little welcome sign. Fussy cut it by cutting around it. Yeah, just like that. Yep, you're going to go all the way around it. You can use Distress ink if you want to hide all those shortcomings of the terrible cutting that I just did. Okay, well, we can do that. Yeah, you'll never know, guys. Yeah, I know it's crooked, but I'm doing this on air. Okay, then we'll stick that down there. Oh, better yet, let's pop it up. You know me, I like to pop up everything. Excellent. Now, the last thing we haven't done is glue it to our calendar, so let's get it on there. Yeah, we gotta put this whole thing on. And stick this on the top of our calendar here. Let's see. Pull the page up so I can see it a little. Actually, that's downright perfect. And then our page is complete. Let's check the bottom though. We've got work to do there. The bottom, we've got a pretty border to match, similar to the top. And you can put it at the very bottom or in the middle. I'm going to put mine in the middle. And if you don't like that color, you can use this color. And I think I like the white. Excellent. And I'll stick that down right in the middle, I believe. There we go. Now September is complete. October. Let's see what's October. October is, it won't be a surprise because it's on your cutting guide, but October, the world's simplest page yet, man. This one is awesome. We're going to find this page in our book. Make sure you get the stickiness off the side. Okay. Alrighty. And glue it down. That's it, guys. You like that? That is one simple page. Take it out of the book, glue it onto your calendar. That's all. I think you deserve a simple page. All right, now we're going to take this, and I want to make sure I've got it correct. Okay. Stick it down. I want a little bit of the white border showing. Maybe not that much on that side. Looks good, good, and good. Congratulations, you have now finished October. We still have a couple of borders there that we can add to it. I'm going to take this panel piece and I'm going to trim off a little extra and use it at the top. Now your directions call for 1 inch here, so we can go ahead and do that 1 inch now. Okay, and then I'm going to take this pretty piece here and put it up here. That'll complement the page more so than trying to redo the page. I'm sorry I made that mistake, but I think this actually will come out looking nicer. We'll see what it looks like. And then we'll take this one, put it across through here. Needs to go over just a hair. See, that's not bad. That actually looks very handsome. I like that. Then for November, we have a split page, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okie doke. Welcome back. We're going to do November. I'm going to flip it over and we're going to decorate the top of it in a moment. But I want you to look closely at this. I'm going to try to get the light on it a little bit better. Do you see how rough the paper is right here? I'm going to show you how to do that technique. A little different than what you have been doing. So let's see what we can do here. We're going to take our November pieces. There are those pieces. Okay, and looking at the cutting guide, you can see everything looks good there. We're going to be doing two different things. We're going to be pulling from our paper collection the suitcase piece that you see right here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there's a whole page of it. All right. So our suitcase piece is cut from top to bottom here. And we're just doing half a page on that. Okay. So your measurements on your instructions say to cut it 4 inches by 7.5. So we're going to cut that to 4 inches by 7.5. I'm going to turn it around this way. Do my 4 inches. And then I'll pull out the extension here so I can cut it to 7.5 inches. I'm going to do that at the top of it. I'll save those little remnants for later. Now our craft paper is the same size. See, they're both the same size there. So they're going to be going on our page just like this, side by side. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to glue down the craft paper to the top there. Okay, we're going to glue that to this page here. And I'm going to leave an edge of white. In fact, I think I'll pull it down and leave an edge of white all the way around. Because by the time, yeah, just a hair on the sides and a little bit on top. I think that's got it pretty close right there. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm doing a dry fit first. Just a hair on top. When they meet up, I'll have a little bit of an edge there. And if I need to overlap it a little, I can. But I think it'll be just fine this way. Okay. And I'll butt it right up against that one. Just like that. Burnish it down. Now take your double stick tape and I want you to put a line right down that seam. Right down the middle. Burnish it down. Pull that off. Now you have 2 pieces that are going to go right up. Oop, got to do it carefully here. And they're a little bit long, so I may need to trim those down. I do. So let's trim that to, don't know what to do with my pencil, so I'll use my pen. There. And then I'll cut this other one to the same length. So I'm going to lay those 2 together. Good. And then you can use a paper trimmer or use your scissors. Cut those. So they'll be the same length. That's important that you cut them to the same length. Now I'm going to lay this down. As straight as I can get it. I think I kind of encroached over on this side, didn't I? That's okay. Now I'm going to take that same double stick tape and I'm going to run it down. No, I'm sorry. Now I'm going to take glue and I'm going to coat this a lot. Yes, folks, I said a lot. I want a lot of glue on this. what we're going to do is make a leather effect. And it's going to involve making sure this second piece of paper is down good. So smear it around. Now lay your second sheet of paper down on top of that. Oops, almost did the wrong one. That would have been bad. Right on top of that one. And when I did lay it down, I did do it a little bit funky. I'm sorry. I did not get it in the very center, but that's okay. The technique you'll get to see. Now, I need that to be burnished down very well. We're going to pray this works, because it worked every time I demonstrated it. But it probably won't work now because I'm on camera. All right, I'm going to take my pieces that I've cut out. I'm letting that dry. November and November. I've got my Warm Wishes piece. I'm going to be putting it onto the mat. Now, depending on how you trim yours out, you may need to do some additional trimming. I know I do. So let me push this to the side. And I'm going to trim this down just a little bit on all four sides. I want it smaller. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do that one. Oops, I didn't do much of that. Let's do a little more. Okay, do another one. Good. And one more. That one's a little too close, so I got to go back over here now. Excellent. Let's see if this fits. Oh, that looks perfect. All right, let's glue that down. Okay. Put this down on top of it. Now we're going to glue this down to the other side here. So we can go ahead and do that. You ought to see my hands when I get through. They're covered with dry glue. I'm going to stick it right here in the middle. Burnish it down. And the two little fussy cut leaves are going to go on the very bottom. Part. So right now, I'm going to go back up here, and I want you to do this. I want you to very gently peel your papers apart. They should be dry by now. Hold down the bottom one, and you're going to peel off the top one. If you get a good grip on it, the whole thing will come up. See, it makes it rough looking. Let me see if I can show you before I trim any more. Can you see how it makes it rough? And where I didn't get enough grip on it, I'm going to have to go to the side here and get a little more. Well, I'm going to have to... I like it when the whole piece comes up at one time. There we go. There we go. See how it looks? It's just so pretty. It gives it like a fake leather look. And you can do all of it or parts of it, however you want to do it. But it gives it a rough edge. Isn't that neat? Kind of like a leather. Now for the bottom. Okay, so for the bottom part, we're going to take a little bit of this one. If we don't have any of the other one left, let's see here. We may have some borders. Oh, we do. We have this piece, and we have, let's use this one. Okay, so if you look in your remnants from where you've cut before, you have a little lacy piece left over. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Ouch, I got a little bit too much glue on that one, didn't I? We're going to glue it right across the middle here. Excellent. We're going to take that extra brown mat that I tried to put on a while ago and put this across the bottom. We're almost done, folks. Put it right here. And then you can fussy cut out these pretty little leaves and do them across the bottom or add them up here. However you wish. You can see how I did them on here. So your November is complete. Let's make sure it looks right. Perfect. Now December. December is open-ended. You can change it if you like. But what I did was I left open frames. So you could put pictures of people in there. You could add a pet, whatever you wanted to make it look like this person was very special that you're giving the calendar to. So we're going to go ahead and use this one real quick. Do this one. So I'm going to look for my December bit. Okay, I just have one little piece. And I'm going to find my page. All right, so we're going to trim off a 1/2 inch to make it 8 by 7.5, and I'm going to trim it off the top. So that I have a 1/2 inch border. Now, if you want to do a little less than a 1/2 inch, you can. I'm just going to do about 3/8 of an inch. The reason why I say that is because we're just going to use that little piece right now before we lose it. It's just going to go on the bottom of your calendar right down here. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Get it out of the way. And you're just going to glue it down to the base. Okay? And then you're going to take this piece and you're going to glue it up here. I may be officially out of glue. That would just be great. I am. I'm officially out of glue in that one. Let's try this. Here we go. It'll save the day. Maybe. All right, we're going to glue this down. Right up here at the top. Let me see if I can get it lined up so you can see it. Good. Burnish it down. Excellent. Then you have a couple of pieces that we need to fussy cut out. Or trim out, I should say. You've got this piece here, which is going to go right there. So let's glue it down. We'll stick it right there. And we have another piece. This one here. I'll stick it on the other side. You can distress these if you wish. I just thought these were so pretty. Oops. My Post-it note tape was sticking up. You can make somebody very happy by putting a couple of pictures on there. And then you also have in your paper collection. Life is Beautiful and Grateful for You. You can cut those out and stick them right here under this one and on top of that one. Then you can fussy cut out some extra little leaves to make them pop up on this page, and fussy cut out the little alarm clock. Add it down there. I wish it said midnight because of New Year's Eve, but it doesn't. And that will complete, when you do that, I'm not going to do it on camera because we're running way over on time, but that completes your calendar. So we've got a beautiful job of January through December, all in one book for 2025. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the desk calendar for the Golden Harmony collection next.